How to assemble and care for your saxophone. As a saxophone player, it's important that you know how to assemble and care for your instrument. The saxophone is a fragile instrument, and it's easy to damage without proper care. Saxophones have 13 pads, and they cannot get wet. Pads are made of felt, covered in a very thin leather. If the pads get wet, the felt swells and breaks the leather. If the leather is broken, it cannot seal the keys when you press them, and your saxophone won't work properly. So, always keep your saxophone dry. When you open your saxophone case, you'll see there are 3 main sections or parts. This is the body. This is the neck. And this is the mouthpiece. You should also have a ligature, a mouthpiece cap, a reed, and cork grease. Before we get started with assembling the saxophone, go ahead and remove the reed from its case and place it flat on your tongue. Leave it in your mouth while you assemble the saxophone. Be careful not to chip the reed on your teeth. Your reed needs to be nice and moist before you put it on your saxophone. Whenever you pick up your saxophone, it's important that you do not grab the body by the keys. The metal of a saxophone is very soft, and the keys must stay perfectly aligned to work properly. Even the slightest change in alignment could result in trouble with your saxophone. Avoid bending the keys by picking up the body at the bell. Sit the saxophone upright while holding on to the bell. With your free hand, remove the end cap from the tenon receiver. Support the saxophone with one hand near the tenon receiver and use a gentle twisting motion to slide the neck into the tenon receiver. When the neck is in place, it should point away from the bell. Now add your mouthpiece. This is easiest if you remove the mouthpiece cap and ligature first. When your mouthpiece is on, turn it so the flat part of the mouthpiece, the table, is pointing down towards the bottom of the instrument. Slide the ligature on the mouthpiece. The screws will face down on the table of the mouthpiece. Still have that reed in your mouth? It should be nice and moist by now. Go ahead and close your lips around it and pull it out of your mouth so that any excess spit is wiped off. Notice there's a thick end and a thin end of your reed. Place the reed flat on the table of the mouthpiece with the thick end pointing towards the ligature. Slide it down the mouthpiece and under the ligature. Pull the ligature down. Now, check your reed placement. The tip edge should be even with the curved tip of the mouthpiece. The reed should be centered on the table, straight down the mouthpiece. As you make your adjustments, try not to touch the tip of the reed, as you may crack or chip the reed and have to start over with a new reed. When your reed is in place, tighten the screws of your ligature 2 or 3 twists. We want the reed to be snug, but not too tight. If you've been eating or drinking any sugary drinks before you play your saxophone, make sure you drink some water to rinse out your mouth before you start playing. This helps keep those pads clean. When you're done playing, it's important to put the reed away first. Loosen the screws on your ligature 2 or 3 turns and use your thumb to push the reed up and slide it off of the mouthpiece table. Remove your ligature and set it in the case. Remove the mouthpiece and replace the ligature and mouthpiece cap. Put the mouthpiece in its place in your case. Every time you finish playing your saxophone, you will need to dry it out before you put it away. Remember the pads and how they need to stay dry? When you play, you blow moist air into your instrument. The little bit of moisture is fine for the time you're playing, but you don't want that moisture to sit in the saxophone while it's in the case. Using a gentle twisting motion, remove the neck from your saxophone. Put the neck away in the case. If you have a pad saver, insert it into the tenon receiver and push it all the way down until the end cap sits in the tenon receiver. The pad saver will keep your pads dry until you're ready to play next time. The oils in your fingers tarnish your saxophone, so be sure to wipe down the body with a dry cloth before you close your case. That's it! Caring for your saxophone is relatively easy if you stay on top of it. John Paul prides itself on making high-quality instruments. Every instrument is quality checked before it is sent out, ensuring that your instrument is ready to play right out of the box. If you ever have any questions about your saxophone, please visit johnpaulusa.com.